Welcome to Michigan Reimagined, a Spotlight podcast. And here's your host, Chris Buck.
So when it comes to creating a vibrant and sustainable community, a component in the discussion is often the variety of housing options that are available. Here to share the story of a new housing opportunity coming to Mid-Michigan is the Vice President of Operations for Traditions Management, Rose Siddle. Welcome to the show, Rose.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. It's a little rainy here today, but I'm excited to be inside talking about your great project. So tell us a little bit. You're with Traditions Management. Tell us what Traditions Management does as a company.
So we manage assisted living, memory cares, and independent living. And we are currently in 5 states: Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Pennsylvania.
Got it. Okay, so you've got quite a footprint. How many properties do you have?
So currently we have 24 properties.
Got it. Okay. And I personally have learned through the years that senior housing is not necessarily a one-size-fits-all category. And as I was preparing for this, I was looking at your website, which does a fantastic job of kind of coding, all the different offerings each of the properties that you oversee have. So can you share with the audience a little bit about what I'm talking about, that not all old folks' homes or senior housing is the same?
So no, it is not. We're no longer, everyone associates us with a nursing home, and we are definitely not a nursing home. So we have independent living, garden homes and cottages in our portfolio, and those are for independent folks who don't necessarily want the upkeep of a home any longer. They don't want to mow grass, clean their gutters, or just, having that upkeep of day-to-day that becomes burdensome as we get older. And they like to snowbird in Florida and come back in the, summer months to be with their family.
Makes sense.
And then we have assisted living, which for some residents, it's folks that need maybe a little assistance with their medication, or they may not need assistance at all. They just don't want to cook any longer. So they live in our main buildings, and we assist as needed. And then we have memory care for our cognitively impaired residents who have some form of dementia or cognitive impairment.
Got it. Okay. So really, your properties offer a really wide spectrum of options for people who have certain needs or honestly don't have certain needs, just they want to have a place that fits what they're looking for.
That's correct. We provide a lifestyle.
Perfect. Okay. So now you've got this Red Cedar Lodge, which will be the newest property in the Traditions portfolio. Share with us where the Red Cedar Lodge is being built.
So it is being built on the Michigan State University campus. Actually, I'm directionally challenged, but it is to the back side of the campus, closer to the baseball field. And it will serve independent residents, assisted living residents, and it has a very intimate 16-apartment memory care. Got
it. So independent, assisted, and memory care all in this new building.
That's correct.
That's great. And on the show, for those of you who listen regularly, we've talked about the Red Cedar Project as this robust, really compound. It's really a community in its own right that's on Michigan Avenue, just east of Clippert and 127. As you mentioned, Rose, just on the backside of the Michigan State University campus. So you've got a huge setup for student housing. You've got traditional apartments for residents. You've got 2 hotels that are being built. And then you have the Red Cedar Lodge, which is going to be this assisted and independent and memory care housing building in its own right. So it seems to me that the residents of the Red Cedar Lodge are going to really benefit by having a kind of a multi-generational, vibrant neighborhood that's going to be safe to walk around. And I think there's even a park setting and all of those things. Is that a strategy do you find that this kind of a senior housing opportunity is better served for the residents by being a part of a larger community?
Yes. So Continental Senior Living is who owns our properties, and they have found that building close to college campuses, we're close to, in Georgetown, Kentucky, we're close to Georgetown College. Lexington, we're close to University of Kentucky. In Middleton, we're close to Denison University. We're close to Robert Morris in Pittsburgh. So that intergenerational aspect is great for our residents. They enjoy going on campus and having classes. They also enjoy the students from campus coming and providing that relationship and doing things with our seniors as well.
Yeah, it seems like I've read about that phenomenon where, do you expect that there will be people that are alums of Michigan State or people that just like to be in a higher education community because you've got theater and you've got athletics and you've got just academics? I mean, they can, attend some of the classes if they decide to, but is that really a draw these days? It seems like that's a phenomenon that's occurring now where people in their later years want to get back to either an educational facility or maybe their alma mater.
That is so true, Chris. We have found that several of our communities have professors who taught at the colleges located close to them and that have been students. Some of our residents are students, have been students of the universities, and it's like coming back home, and they enjoy the time that they have on campus and all of the activities that provides.
That's great. So we talked about the different types of housing, independent and assisted and memory care. But it seems more and more, especially from a ground-up construction project like the Red Cedar Lodge is, that on-site kind of amenities or even, the campus, around its amenities, like what kinds of, kind of fringe benefits are people going to have once they move into the Red Cedar Lodge?
So in our community, we have many amenities. We have, salons and spas. We have our bar in our community. It's restaurant-style dining, and then with that also comes the amenities of being part of the campus. So we will have season tickets to the games and season tickets to the theater. We'll be part of the arts. There will be all of those things that will be available to our residents, and it's all about choices, and that's kind of part of our core values is choices, and we give our residents as many choices as they desire, and hope that we can keep encouraging them, to become involved. Kind of our motto is that we can't add years to their life, but we can add a lot of life to their years, and we see that in our communities. And with the recent couple years that we've had with COVID, we know that isolation is very difficult for our seniors, and it has done a lot of it's caused people to have some issues that we find that in the community it resolves. So once they have someone to partner with and we give them purpose, we see a new person.
I can't emphasize what you just said enough. I really do think that, your environment and the socialization and the continued to learn and the camaraderie and community drives the quality of life for people in their senior years. I think we all know folks that kind of fall into isolation or, they stay in the residence that they were in and lose track of all their neighbors and mobility becomes an issue. And it just seems like that feeds on itself in such a negative way. And it sounds like the properties that you manage really are a counterpunch to that and get people active and social and that just feeds the soul and feeds the life and, keeps people probably more mental health in addition to the physical health. Absolutely.
We find that our residents in our communities, with what we provide and all of the choices that we provide, their health does improve. If you're sitting at home, it's more difficult for them to go places, especially with COVID. They were afraid. And so in a community, they feel like they have that sense of purpose and they're driven to go out just because their friend wants to see them at dinner. So they're more likely to go out by peer pressure than they are to just sit in their room. And they want to know what's going on, and they want to be a part of stuff. They want to be a part of the community. They want to be a part of their friends. So that's our purpose, is just to give them their life back.
Right. And I think I'm accurate in this because I've had the development team on for the Red Cedar compound, and we've talked about different components. This is the first time we've talked about the senior housing. But if I'm not mistaken, the entire campus is going to be pet friendly. Is that true with Red Cedar Lodge?
That is true. So we encourage people to have their pets with them. Generally, we see cats, birds, dogs, but they do enjoy having their pet with them, and it's just like home. So we want to make it as homey as possible, and your pet is part of your family.
And that's a big deal. I mean, you talk about the mental health components and socialization and having pets, and I would imagine that being pet friendly is a nice advantage. There's maybe housing opportunities out there that don't allow pets, and so hopefully that'll help attract more tenants for when you're in leasing mode to get people moved in. That's really a great thing. And I also understand that they're doing the dog parks, right? And I think they started segregating them, like the large dog park and the small dog park, so they can all play together and not be too intimidating if you're big or little. You're amongst your kind. So those will be right there in the compound as well, along with the college students who can have pets also, and the other apartment dwellers can have pets as well. So there's really an opportunity for them to meet other people while their dogs get to meet other, co-dogs, right?
Absolutely. And with the walking paths around the pond and into campus, there's plenty of space to walk and enjoy your pet and be out in the sunshine and get that fresh air that we all need. Right.
Okay. So, one of the things that I'm sure people are interested in is the price point. And, housing isn't cheap, but it is, probably the largest expense anyone has. Where on the strata would you peg the Red Cedar Lodge to be?
So we are definitely a high-end senior living. There will be different styles of apartments. There's 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, and studio. So we can, there's a variety. Our memory care units are all studio apartments. So there is a variety of options for folks. And then we also have levels of care. So it would be wrong of me to tell you an amount, because we would have to do an assessment on someone and then determine what their charges would be.
Okay, got it. So anyone who's intrigued by this and is looking for a place to be, they should go through the process to, apply or submit some sort of a form to get more information and the pricing and all of that. Is that correct?
Absolutely, and we are currently taking community fees for admission, and hopefully that admission will be August to September of this year. And we have Kelly Rigglesworth, who will be on campus starting Monday. She's our community relations director, and the phone number is posted everywhere around campus, and we'll be back up on the building here soon. So we look forward to hearing from everyone. Fantastic. Okay. And is there is there an online form, or where can people get more information about the Red Cedar Lodge? There will be an online website. Should be up and going by Friday. So we are looking forward to getting lots of calls. Fantastic. Well, that's just it's wonderful to hear about a new housing opportunity for people in Mid-Michigan. If you're listening and you're not from Mid-Michigan, you should come check us out and be a part of the Michigan State University and Mid-Michigan Greater Lansing community. We've been talking to the Vice President of Operations for Traditions Management, Rose Siddle, and about the Red Cedar Lodge at the Great Red Cedar Project that I've talked about so many times. Rose, I really appreciate you coming on board and sharing this information with our listeners. Thank you for having me, Chris. I appreciate it greatly.